Hello, hello, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Last time we started getting some mods working for all the train stuff, and today I don't really have anything else new in that regard, minus a couple things I added but didn't seem to get any new menu options or anything. There's one mod that was going to do the, what's it called? I don't know why I can't talk just as soon as I hit the go live button, so it is what it is. But something to do with the slope of track. It's going to limit it to a certain amount, but I don't know. Like, that looks like it's a pretty shallow slope, but it's not telling me what. Anyway, beside the point. I did add a couple more assets for way later on. So we'll see what happens when we get there. Today, though, I would like to get more train stuff connected, especially with industry and getting between cities. Maybe start working on some sort of a freight rail hub somewhere around here. We'll see what happens. We do have trains going between the cities of Everett, Akron, and Allentown currently, and Amarillo is not going to be too far behind. This is a nice modded station that we put in last stream where we can pretty easily add some more stuff to it. It'll nicely reconfigure itself. Now, I think I would like to start getting more and more of these cities connected passenger-wise. And Amarillo doesn't really have anything else going for it at the moment. So, probably worth deciding where we want the station to be and then figure out how we want to route things. Because that's going to connect to Corona and then all the way around here to Victorville. So it does need to probably be on this side of town, but that's potentially going to cause issues with our track radius. We'll see what happens. Morning from the Philippines. Wow. That is a long way away. Hope you're enjoying your trip. Looking forward to going back and watching the whole series. I don't know that there's that much interesting stuff to see in most of these streams, but you are absolutely welcome to. Let's see what I want to do about stations here. I think I've been doing... I like the 1850s style. I think I can change... Yeah, large is really the only one it's going to let me do. We'll start with 2 tracks. Let's see here. Was I doing 240 or was I doing 280 meters? Let's check against this. I know we can change it at some point in the future, but... Oh, I just went straight to 320. Okay, that's fine. Alright. Oh, yeah, and this is all industry over here, so that's fine. We'll do the passenger on this outside bit. We do have a chance before this town grows a lot to, I guess, have our way with the way that the roads are run. So why don't we, before things get to that point, why don't we go ahead and run best we can around the corner here without cutting off industry unnecessarily. I think this is going to have to go just as tight as I can on 186 miles per hour with the knowledge that this other track will also have to do that. So why don't we take that knowledge in hand and start from that side and see what we can get ourselves into. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily have to go out that far, but that does give me a pretty good idea of what kind of curve radius I can do. I think, yeah, because we want this to come out of the cut, and I want that to be pretty much a shoe-in to come around maybe between these two things. We can always elevate track, we can elevate roadways, but I do want this to be more or less straight and level, or at least a gentle curve going over here. So why don't we just do... Why don't we do that? Why don't we come out this way? That's still going to be a solid 186. That's going to be fine. Why don't we... Yeah, the road stuff doesn't matter quite so much, but we do need to make sure we leave space for infrastructure when that becomes a thing. Alright, so that's 186. As soon as it starts going down, we know our inside track is going to start having problems. So why don't we, yeah, why don't we do this? And as soon as that gets up to 186, give it a couple more clicks. There we go. And we'll just check the inside track here. That's still showing 186? It is. Beautiful. So like I said, this has to go between here and here. It doesn't necessarily have to be super close to the town because we can and will extend. But knowing what we know now, I think this is going to be a decent opportunity to just pop in maybe right about here, because we're going to have streetcars, trams, whatever you want to call them, in most of these cities, and that will be totally fine. I do think I want this to be more or less a straight line between here and here. Might not actually let me get away with that quite so much. Let's try about this right here. I'll tell you what. This is going to be easier to just attach to a track in the spot that I want to stick it than it is going to be to babysit this thing. So why don't we do that? Just add that right there, and then come back to here, and that's going to be our. Okay, maybe a little bit too far. I know we're not going to get our money. Oh, we'll get some of it back. Yeah, I'm going to move that a little bit closer here. There we go. This is... Okay, not great, but it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. We have the power of the smooth brush setting. That'll get this all cleaned up. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Just need to get this attached with some sort of a road. Or I guess a street. Could be large street here. Yeah, why don't we just do that? Because we can put a tram station right there on the other side. Derail Valley, I don't know really is going to be something I can do on this channel without the algorithm just absolutely murdering me, because it's very much more of like a simulation, from what I understand. I could be incorrect in assuming that, but everything that I have seen leads me to believe that's the case. Alright, so that comes straight down here. This would be a great opportunity for us to just do a... oh, I actually don't want player ownership. Hold on. No and no. Oh, you stupid. Come on. There we go. I just need this to be connected somewhat, and they will build down here as time goes by and makes it necessary. So why don't we... Let's see, I want that to go on the right side or the left side. Probably doesn't matter, to be perfectly honest with you. But I guess it's going to depend on what kind of routing I'm going to want to take. Well, we don't need to lose too much sleep over it. We'll just keep on keeping on. I can't remember how I have these set up. These other ones. I think I did like that. Maybe. Then I had passenger buildings, and then I think I had another exit out the other side. I'm not entirely sure. Because the way this is now, it's kind of a forced right turn scenario. Well, we can always change it if we don't like it later. That's always a possibility. Okay, so that doesn't want to go there unless I have that set up. I guess that's something. Why don't we continue following this around until about here? And I suppose, if we're going to continue doing this way, just give it a little bit more space. Attach there, and then that's going to give me a loop. So we'll tram track this whole mess all the way up. And then that will be probably the easiest thing to do, since this is all residential anyway. So that'll work out fine. Let's do a stop. We already have a big one there that'll connect to here. We can kind of future-proof this a little bit by putting one there. Put one there. Short blocks don't really do well with this kind of stuff, but I think it's going to be okay. Let's do right on top of that. That should be all right. Do a new line starting there. Now, of course, the tram is going to have to follow along the outside here because obviously it can't go where there are not tracks. So we'll just... That is not the correct thing. If I can spell it correctly. Alright, that's going to need a depot. Where do I want to build a depot? Is it worth putting... I guess right here is... it's not a great spot for a depot. Depot, whatever you want to call it, but I guess fine to put here. Okay, it is 1955. We do have PCCs available. This goes 31. That's actually pretty good. We got the Pittsburgh and we got the Toronto PCC. This is a slightly faster, slightly lower capacity. Otherwise, we'll go... I'll just go ahead and get a Toronto one. And then set that on Amarillo. So I think, yeah, because this is the first stop, it's probably going to go all the way around, unless it's smart enough to just... Okay, it is. Alright. So that's going to work there. Let's make sure... I'm actually going to... I don't want time to pass too quickly. So I guess I don't need it to be on triple speed. Don't want to blast right through the steam era and not use some of the cool steam engines, but... I do need to make sure this is all connected. Double tracking, of course, so we can have inner and outer loops like we've done on the previous ones. Just need to get these set up. And this, of course, does have to diverge at some point, and that is probably fine to just do it like that. Okay, so that's going to get Amarillo connected. I guess this is fine. Since we're already there, we might as well... This is going to be... Yeah, this is going to be a good opportunity for me to check and see how I'm going to build this bridge. Yeah, so this is not... it's not exactly going to be wanting me to do this the way that I'm going to want to do it because of how the roads are set up. So what I'm going to do... So I'm going to actually remove this. So don't worry, I have this set to where it cannot despawn. That was a thing that was very annoying, so I decided I didn't want that in this playthrough. But I do need this to give me just a tiny bit of room. That's going to go straight across here, but I want it to have kind of a realistic height to it. So I believe what's going to have to happen is this is just going to go straight across. We're going to get this on the slope mode. And then this is going to have to go... Well, this is the edge of the map, so we don't have to be able to, you know, get stuff underneath this, theoretically. But I would like for it not to look completely stupid, if at all possible. So going straight the way across like this. Continuing to go up, we do not necessarily want. This seems mostly fine. It's a little bit of a steep slope, but, you know, it'll be alright. We don't have the concrete spans yet, so the fastest we can go is 112 with this, or with that, which looks ridiculous, so we're not going to be doing that. Let's get this down to ground level. Yeah, see, that's already embankment there. I don't necessarily want that. But that is objectively kind of ridiculous looking at that kind of height there. But... I guess it's probably fine. Maybe this is the realistic railway slope mod or whatever, just doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I just haven't been paying attention because I couldn't see much on it. Anyway, regardless, we got to get this across here so that we can have double track built. Spend all our money on bridges and all that garbage. Well, that's fine. Now let's get over to Corona. This is going to be the fuel refinery. We've got, wow, we have right here, a full loop. That is going to be a very convenient thing to do with trucks. Or a very short train line. I know we've got multiple, we've got multiple oil wells we're going to want to get connected. We'll see what happens, but I do want to see where the whole thing with the industries on that side. Okay, good. Because I do want us to have passenger train stations on the outside whenever possible. So if we get this in line with the track, we're going to want this to be rotated. Probably closer to flat here, unless we're going to be... Yeah, whatever route we're taking to get to Victorville. Probably going to end up going like that. So here is probably not the worst possible spot for this to go. As long as it's not going to be tremendously stupid. Need to make room for that with trucks, but they can go up and over the tracks. That is not an issue. The main problem is getting these guys set in a decent spot. Tell you what we'll do. Zoom in here. This seems like one of the least stupid places to stick that. Let's get this connected there to here. A little bit of an S-curve. Why in the world? This is a really stupid tunnel, objectively. But, it's fine, is what it is. It is most important that we have uninterrupted maximum speed running in, what, 50 years in-game when we're actually able to do something with this. So we'll smooth out the landscaping. Just make it look a little bit better. And this right here, not going to be completely unreasonable to just raise this land up a little bit. I know we're spending a lot of money to do it, but that does look a lot better. Ah, yes. No, don't worry, this bridge goes somewhere. This is, something tells me not supposed to look like... Okay, there we go. That is actually fixed. Okay. Alright, so now Corona's there. At this point, you might be asking, why not just go around the whole outside? Well, we're not going to have money for that. We have to be able to, you know, pay for it, so... How do I want to do this? Let's take this out. We'll get that all reconnected at some point. But I do think I like the idea of having the large road right in front of it. Let's level that out. That is probably about as good as that's going to get. Alright, we know we can have this come in at a really weird angle, or what we've kind of done before is get this right in the middle and have some sort of like an avenue going right to the front of the station. I think that always ends up looking nice. So a little bit of eminent domain on that guy's house, and then there we go. Yeah, it's not perfectly centered, but that's it's all right. So this, I think, would benefit from having that connected, pre-connected, and then I do like straight lines a little bit more for stuff like this, so why don't we just go ahead and get that set. And even though, you know, this is not necessarily going to be easy to upgrade later, it'll be better just to do that now. We'll do the same kind of tram station thing that we've been doing this whole time. Just make this nice and easy. Passenger buildings there and there. Then another street access, and this actually could be a good... Yeah, that's actually not a bad reason to turn it from 4 lanes into, whatever, but they're not going to be going in here anyway. Alright, tram track. Catenary, yes, please. Bring this around the outside. Simple loop, we can always upgrade later. Put in a stop every so often. There. Let's go there. And then I guess probably right about here is not bad. That should give us pretty good coverage, not be a super complicated thing. There we go. This can be streetcar Corona circulator. Once again, I cannot spell. Okay. That, of course, is going to require its own tram depot, which I suppose at this point probably doesn't exactly matter where it goes. But I will take away industrial space before I do anything else. Alright. Toronto PCC in Corona. Running around the outside. How are these guys doing here? Is this being ridden at all? I guess I should click on the thing. Wow, okay, there's actually people on this. Hilariously tight curve, by the way. In real life, there's a couple of these still operating in Philadelphia. I don't know if they are in Toronto or not. But they will take curves about that tight. It's pretty funny. You see videos of it online. But that should take care of most of what we're attempting to do here, and I think it is about time to extend all of our trains. So what's going to have to happen here is, I think that is on its way there. I'm just going to have to, Everett, Akron, Allentown, take this away. After Allentown, they go to Amarillo, and then to Corona, and then back to Amarillo, then back to Allentown, then back to Akron, and then, of course, it starts over at Everett. So we'll do the same exact thing. These aren't going to be, they're not going to be synchronized very well, but we'll live. This is not a permanent thing. This is just to get more stuff attached to it before it is too late to really do too much else. All right. And this is, of course, our lovely Mallard-powered steam train here. Actually has a pretty decent amount of people on it, all things considered. But eventually, we're going to want something a little bit quicker. I do want to follow this all the way to the end and see what our passenger numbers end up looking like. We shall see. I do see a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, we got people waiting. At some point, I believe it's 1960 something, 64, 65, or 66. We'll get the Shinkansens Series 0, which will be fun. Well, like I said earlier, I don't want to have it be too quick of a time progression, so we don't get to play with the other stuff instead. Armadillo and Sarsaparilla to accompany Amarillo. That's pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, they're all going to Akron. I'll let the other people weigh in, but yeah, we can rename stuff if you want, assuming everyone else is okay with it. Oh, I hear thunder outside. I hope that doesn't knock my internet out. I do have my computer on an uninterruptible power supply, so that's good. But you know, internet's internet. It's gonna internet. Yeah, I probably do need to make good use of the industry over here, since I spent all that time trying to build a station with overpasses on it. But this isn't really set up great for that. I know we've got crude oil here, we've got the oil refinery, then we have the fuel refinery, so that could be decent. Allentown doesn't want fuel though. Got people here. Oh wow, there's actually a decent number of people waiting. I was kind of not expecting that. Yep, and that's our PA with the Streamline New Mexico cars. Yeah, we got to get something else going. I did say I wanted to mess with the freight trains as well, so probably about time for us to start making moves in here. But I want to make sure I don't block stuff. Forests going into making planks in the sawmill. These, of course, go to make tools. This is a pretty decent setup here, just in a straight line. Ideally, I think I would want a third forest for this, but yeah, we got some over here. So this is actually, this would be good to keep with the machines factory right here, actually. And we've got this here. Do I have a coal mine? I do, up here. Okay. Well, regardless, I was trying to figure out where I could put a little rail yard. It doesn't have to be a huge one, because I don't think we're going to go too crazy. I think what's going to make sense is these three in the middle. We've got Roseville, Baltimore, and Waco. Could be connected in kind of like a triangle setup. And then spoke these out to specific cities on the outside, and then have a third track around the outside that is just a continuous cargo loop. And that would allow us to share stuff without it being a crazy, stupid thing. We will see. We will see what happens. But we probably should try to be growing some of these other towns before things get too crazy. Especially considering some of these have very convenient setups for some stuff, not necessarily everything. Yeah, it's too bad I've got Corona wants building materials and I have a plant, but I don't have a quarry. Yeah, quarries are kind of hard to find, aren't they? Well, the other part of that is some of these cities will just keep growing and demanding other stuff, and we'll just conveniently have it. I don't know that that's going to be something we want to wait on specifically. Well, I don't need to dilly-dally too much. I know these are decently represented. The multi-step things like machines and goods are going to be really annoying to build in a bunch of different spots, so it's probably better to just have that stuff automatically shipped out to whatever cities want it based on how this cargo network is set up. So all that being said, it's probably going to be worth getting one of those things going. Even if these cities don't necessarily, you know, want that. We can see. Let's see what happens. These guys want somewhere to go, that's fine. Eventually food is going to be a big problem. Allentown does not have any food. And this is not a horrible setup, but not a great setup either. This would be a great example of a way to get bulk food into here to distribute to other cities if we just had a little train line there. So why don't we start getting some of this set up? From the farms into the food processing plant, it still makes sense to have trucks. Wonder if these kind of games are used by flat earthers as a model of the world. I don't know. All I gotta say is if the world were actually flat, cats would have pushed everything off the edge by now. Let's do... Oh, I'm actually out of money. That's convenient. Probably because I'm, you know, hemorrhaging cash trying to get people to take this train all the way up. Well, it'll even out. So I guess we do kind of have to just let this run for a little bit. Not much else I can do. Wow, we got a lot of people want to go. A lot of people want to go places. They just have to be able to get on the train. That's too bad, because I was ready to get more food stuff going here. Okay, now I've got some cash. We want to upgrade roads, because even though right now we don't really have fast trucks, we're going to have fast trucks, and those are going to make a big difference. I don't know that I want to have large country roads going between all of these things, but it's probably not a horrible idea. Why don't we just do it? Because we are definitely going to need the volume when we get around to the later parts of the game. And having these trucks, you know, have to do stupid routing and wait for everything else is definitely not going to be an ideal scenario. Alright, so we know that's going to be fine there. We don't have to physically connect these as much as you might think, because the stations can be put in a bunch of different spots. Ah, there's my money again. So I guess we do have to... There we go. I say we do have to wait, but... This right here, you might notice, is not technically connected. I don't know what that is down there. We're not going to worry about it, because I can't see when I'm in construction mode. But this doesn't have to be actually attached where we put the stuff in, because that's not what it's going to demand we do. Let's take that out. Large country road. It only has to be connected on one of those points, but... Come on. There we go. Let's just get that right in the middle. Fishbowl bus. Those are cool looking. But truck stations here, you might notice, do connect as far out as about right here. And that is not necessarily the best way to be doing this, but I think it is going to be fine. Why don't we instead try and prevent weird turns, because there's going to be a lot of trucks coming through this. Why don't we do this? Just bring in here. Ooh, you probably can hear that thunder all the way outside through the microphone. Let's just put in a bunch of platforms. I don't technically need 3 and 3, but I think that's probably going to be better that way. We'll do street access here, and then I will get this street hooked up to the back side, which actually does not need to be, after all that, I know, does not actually need to be a 4-lane road. We'll just get this. Oh, of course, that's not close enough. I guess we have to come in from this side and do that way. Well, that's fine. This is still, if we click on this, connected nicely. And we can have the trucks come in from this way, and then they'll go out without having to cross each other's paths. I generally try not to consume social media content from people who lack a basic understanding of how anything works, but that does sound very funny. Let's get the rest of these in place here, because I know I'm going to have a... You know what I could do, which would be probably kind of stupid, but I could I could have a highway ramp so these guys always just have flyovers instead of having to make these turns, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I do want to, I think, you know, I can do it correctly and have the truck station over here. Might as well. I will probably just do 4 platforms like that. Now, I know we have this copy it thing, but that bit me in the butt last time, and I don't think I want to, do that. So instead, oh, this actually, if this had a 40-meter setting, that would be even better. I just need this to be kind of in a convenient location. I guess this is fine. And then here still technically connects. At some point it won't, but I guess this is, you know, honestly, this is probably fine to put in a spot like this. And I did maybe not necessarily have to have the 4th bit here, but it's going to end up looking better. Can I fit the 4th one here with... nope, never mind. Well, I guess we won't. That'll just be 30. So now we have to have all these supplying here. We have to set up all of our routes correctly. Let's call this raw mats Allentown Farm 1. And then I need to make sure that this is set to use at the annex. All of these, because it can. And then at the branch thing here, why can I not? There we go. So I'm going to have 3 of these. Why don't I just have this set to platform 5 and then also use platform 6? Yeah, that'll be fine. Then 4 and 3 for this other one, and 1 and 2 for the other one besides that. Alright, so we already know that this is a thing that can use both. I don't think we're ever going to need to use that much at one time. That should be fine. No, I didn't name that one. And then this, we can go ahead and just get that set correctly. Railroad tracks have different speed limits. I don't care. I need this to be done before I worry about trains. Alright. All up there. And then this, I said, was going to be on platforms 1 and 2. Priority set to 1. So that does give me access to all of the platforms. And just because I have all the platforms filled up with stuff coming in here does not mean I cannot have a different station taking them somewhere else. Like, for example, with a train down to Allentown and the freight tracks that we're going to add. Do you really think Boeing is going to be able to be part of anything like that if they can't even get their other planes figured out? I don't know. I have no idea what exactly is going on over there, but they've not had a very good past couple of decades. Do I have the cash? I guess I technically do. Cargo terminus station here is not a bad idea. High speed, catenary. Yes, I am going to want to have catenary. You know what? I probably could. I could just do something ugly like this, but I don't need to necessarily be like that. This is probably going to end up being... I'm going to have to decide, because this is the way the station's set up. I'm not going to be able to modify the individual platforms. It's just going to give me more passenger ones. So a cargo station for Allentown would actually not be here. Let's check. Okay, so that's on the other side of the city. So if I did a cargo station here, it would not be hard to connect down here. I would just have to have a different train come in to that same cargo station. That could be a pretty good stub station. Yeah, some people tend... I shouldn't, you know, paint everyone with the same brush. That's not a very kind or accurate thing to do, but I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand the huge, just enormous differences between a private pilot flying something like a Cessna and somebody flying a commercial airliner. Very, 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 very different. Very different. I am very interested in that that whole like self-reported phenomenon where people are like, "Oh yeah, I could land a commercial plane completely fine if the pilot was incapacitated." Like, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? I can't zoom any closer than this, and that's about as straight as that's gonna get. I don't need. I guess these two platforms like this would be fine. But depending on how I wanted to lay the station out, if I'm going to have this just be train in, then I also would want this to pick up stuff here, which means a cargo station actually would be better as a through station and not a stub. But I also don't want it to be a... I don't want it to be a tremendous huge pain in the butt. So instead of being a tremendous huge pain in the butt, I'm just going to demolish random private residences and buildings until I get what I want. So that's definitely how this works, right? Okay, 2 tracks. I theoretically don't have to have 3 tracks for this, but I do like the... Stop building these roads where I want to put a train station. Just don't do that. I do think it probably makes sense to go ahead and have the 3rd track and just have that be what it is. But $2 million for a cargo station, sure. This is, by the way, one of the reasons why this station is in a trench, because I figured out that was probably going to be a thing. First flight took off and landed all without instructions. They let you do that? That seems kind of dangerous. Not gonna lie. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. I was too vision impaired without corrective lenses to really want to pursue that much out of high school. Now everything's so expensive. It's like, all right, that's not gonna happen ever. But it's nice to have goals. I don't want to build that anyway, but I do want to have this track crossing over, so why don't we do this? And the cargo trains cannot ever go 186 miles per hour. And this doesn't matter as a road anyway. I do want to make this as ideally not completely stupid as I possibly can. I just need a little bit more verticality to separate stuff. This seems like it's going to be fine. I just want to get this across here, and then we can, you know, go about our business. Yeah, that doesn't like that at all. This would look better if it didn't have this bridge pillar collision. You know, I might try to move this node, but I mainly just wanted to make sure that this wasn't going to be a complete and utter disaster. That will work as long as it clears the catenary, which it does. Okay, let's just get that there. You know, that's not better. That definitely is not better. Okay, move it, please, and thank you. Give me this. Can I not, maybe it's just segment, no, constructions. How do I, bridge. Maybe I just don't worry about it, because this isn't, I don't think, going to clip the train. We can always fix it later. Ultra slim train that has to go through that. You might be surprised how little overhang there is. Keep in mind this, well, it's probably not completely to scale, but train tracks 4 feet 8.5 inches apart, and then the distance from this rail to here is about another 5 feet. They don't have that much overhang to where the thing would be like 12 feet wide. Just trying to make sure we can have everything that we need here. I don't have a train station connected to the tools factory yet. We will at some point, and I should probably make an allowance for that now by just attaching that. This doesn't have to be a big building. It does have to have a building. Maybe we'll go for a medium. That should be fine. I mainly just want this to be able to come over this way. Rotate just a touch. But in all honesty, this probably is a decent angle for this. Maybe it's a tiny bit more. I'm going to have to put a road. Medium country road. Because they're not actually going to drive vehicles on this. This is just to attach the station to. Because the station does have to be attached to something to make sense. Okay, that is probably going to be weird. Get this lined up best we can. Is that the same angle? No, not quite. That is much closer. Alright, so that's going to be the station here. We're probably not going to use the second platform. It's probably just going to be a through track, but you have to have it anyway. And if that's going to be... that'll be alright. Now, see, this is the other fun part, is now I have this fuel factory here that could also definitely use the station. Tricks to raise the land first, then drag the tracks across to build the bridge. See, that makes sense, and that's why you're probably better at this than I am. But I guess I'll put a different station on this side, then that could go attached to here. Right now, I just need to get this operating so I can make some cash. That is, for better or for worse, the goal of these things. So that goes there. And then here at the food area, I cannot do... Is this going to connect to the thing at all? No, it has to connect to that side, or it has to connect to this side. That doesn't need to be super close. Let's go a tiny bit further out. There we go. And then I'm going to have this connect around to this side. Again, it doesn't really have to be like this, but I like it not to look completely stupid if at all possible. That is going to come in... Might actually not be a great setup. This is actually connected fine. Ideally, I want it to connect here as well, just in case we ever need to take raw food somewhere else back on the train. So if this allows me to go here, I don't technically need the second track. I will just do this. All right, so that's going to connect to here and to here, which is fantastic news. Is this perfect? Absolutely not. I'm going to worry about it maybe a little bit, but not really. So now I just have to have a single track, at least for now, connect here to here. As long as I don't take away farm fields, we're going to be good. And this is going to go to... No, it says collision. What am I collisioning with? The road that nobody cares about. All right. That is relatively easily fixed. Connect to the second one. Here we go. So now I have food delivery to Allentown. We've got tool delivery to Allentown, even though we haven't made any tools. That is probably fine. And then obviously we have to go to somewhere else. But for the time being, this will be a decent thing for us to do. Now, I have to come in here to here. On this track is going to be... Yeah, so we're going to call this... See, I don't remember how I have the rest of these laid out. Okay, that's passenger. I want cargo. Let's call... See, this is the problem. I don't know what kind of naming convention I want to use. Yeah, being a pilot traveling across the world is not for the faint of heart, especially if you got people at home. Pays pretty well after a while, but yeah, not having home time has got to be really hard. Hey, Sid. Alright, I guess I'm just going to have to... let's just call this rail cargo because I got no other way to do it. Let's call it Allentown food. There we go. Then this will be something we're not using yet, but just have that ready to go. We don't have any ability to get trains or anything in here yet, so I will need to build a train depot. Which, for lack of some better way to do it, I'm just going to stick right there. Get this attached, and then give it a mechanism to get to the other track. Shouldn't need signals for this because it's going to have its own line. I know I said I wasn't going to do too much of that, but you know how it goes. Alright, I'm going to unpause this. I didn't want to run the clock up another decade without being able to actually use some of the fun things. I know these are very expensive. We're going to have a very hard time paying for most of this. Because the big boy is $17 million to buy. But, true to my word, we will use one of these at some point. It's available until 1994. So we do have some time. But, I can't even get enough of a loan to get one of those, so maybe we'll have to wait on that a little bit. I need something cheaper. I know we've got all these little electric locomotives. We've got diesels, which is really what these are designed to be doing. Oh yeah, this is a neat little bit of history when the Americans were exporting locomotives to Europe. See, this thing is just so, like, pitiful. So tiny. But it's cheap. Yeah, it's only 1.6 million, and the rest of these are just ludicrously expensive. This one has got a pretty good amount of track. When does the DD51 come up? I did get that as a mod thing. I think it was like late 60s. We might end up swapping for that, but well, I'll just get one of these little tiny things. And then find the best possible food transport, which is probably going to be one of these gondolas here. No? Boxcars. Okay, who goes the fastest? They're all 75. Capacity 18. This is actually lighter. The Oh, this is only 4 wheels? Oh, no, no, no. You can't put that much weight in a 4-wheeled train car. That's why it's 20 tons, I guess. Well, this is the American style, and this is an American style thing, so I guess this is alright. I'll just leave this here, this little baby train. Can go up on the, we'll call this Allentown food line. I know we don't have trucks or anything yet, but I did want to get this started. Look at this thing. Isn't that cute? Alright, so let's move on. Now I got to get these guys going here, which is... Oh, now I'm out of money because I bought the train before I could do anything with it. Oh, well. Worse things have happened. See, this and this are probably about the same length. This is a longer one, so why don't we start? Find the best possible truck. 37. Anybody go faster than 37? Doesn't look like it. Flatbed truck has a capacity of 13. Dump truck is what we need. Capacity of 15. Ooh, this one holds 16. But I guess this is fine. The one-wheel train is hideously, just ridiculously poorly optimized for doing anything. No, now I'm out of money again. Gotta wait for another train to deliver some passengers, and then I can buy trucks to move all the grain around. Everything is so expensive. This will be making a ton of money once it's up and running. I just need to get at least one on every one of these routes. The reason I wanted to get 4 is so I could have 1 and 2 on the longer route. So I will send this out here. And then this other one, oh, these are going so slow. They're going so slow. Well, I guess it's alright. We'll just have those go. So this guy is going to get here, and there's going to be absolutely nothing to pick up, and it's going to go all the way back before it has any hope of doing anything else. Oh well. I chose this little baby tiny thing. Alright, we know we're not going to have anything coming out of the tools factory anytime soon. These guys have so far not gotten any amount of anything. Oh, these people are going to be mad because these are going to be loud after some point. Oh well, I should have started this later. It is what it is. All we can do now is just kind of wait. And this will make its trip back up here, and then, you know, we'll be making more money. We can add more stuff to it. But for now, all we can do is wait. Now, I am very curious about what's going to happen here, because I thought I got this configured correctly where it's not going to be an issue. But I suppose we will see what happens. I do need to get more trucks, but we can add those over time. Okay, so that guy should be coming in, I guess, right there. Oh, because that's from the second farm. That's fine. This didn't have probably anything in it, huh? Oh, one. One piece of grain. Okay. Well, at risk of inciting politics discussion, which I absolutely never want to do in these streams, that is a conscious choice that this economy has decided to commit to. Removing train tracks in favor of trails and walking paths. Well, they've heavily incentivized trucks and cars and highways to the tunes of hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars annually, but refused to do anything for the trains because I guess that's just completely worthless to a lot of people who are elected. Which I guess there's arguments to be made either way. I certainly don't have answers, but I will tell you I sure like trains a whole lot more than basically anything else. Let's get another Let's get another 3 of these and send them on each one of these farm routes just to slowly get this running. Just a little bit more. So at some point, where's my little train? There it is. This guy will be able to actually haul some sort of food. Very slowly. No food. Really? So I guess they don't like, it says consumption 48, but where is it going? If it's not being shipped, is that because this or the town hasn't demanded it? I don't know. Sometimes this stuff just happens where it says, "Oh, hey, you need to make this," and then it ends up not even being a thing that they can do. So I wonder if it's, no, it says they're demanding food. And this is in range of some of those things. So I'm not really sure why. I guess I can pin that. So we have so many things piling up, they're going to waste. Okay, it's got one thing it's consuming, but it's not... There's none of it that's actually set to be picked up. Why? Why is that? Because this can actually, you know, attach to both of these. But it says it's got no shipment. Why? The food goes in the boxcar, so I don't know what's up with that. It's being dropped off here. Why does it say it can't when it very much can? Alright, well I guess it's time to actually check and see for sure. So they want machines, that's residences. Maybe the... Okay, maybe the food demand is actually in a really... Are you serious? It's 2 buildings over here? Of course they can't reach that. That is really annoying. That is just barely out of reach. Well, I've got an idea as to how we might solve that problem. And that is to remove industries and wait for stuff to get rebuilt that's going to want food. If it happens. That's a... Why would you choose to... Ah, Shinkansen Zero Series. There we go. There we go, boys and girls. Those are expensive. So maybe we'll do that at some point in the future. Just give me something that demands food over here. I guess I could put in... I guess I could put in a truck route, but... This doesn't allow loading of cargo, which means I'd have to have a separate truck station right next to this. Oh, I guess I could put a thing here. This is just really a shame to do it like this. Oh well. If I want it to be dropped off, it's got to be dropped off. So that can come in there. If we want it to go out on the right-hand side, I guess it's not going to be that big of a deal. This can reach all the way up to here, huh? Well... I will give them what they want, even if what they want is stupid. I will connect this kind of poorly, but it's fine. I just need that to have drop-offs. And I've got one... Yeah, I did put that there. We'll just go around the outside, as one does. At some point, this will actually be a decent setup, but... It's alright. Oh, you know what? This would be a great opportunity to get this connected on the other side. Right here with another road. Let's do that. We can make this a nice continuous loop. Alright, so now Lower Allentown can go to quite literally anything. And that is fine. We'll call this Distribution Allentown All Cargo, because that's what it's going to end up being at some point. Now I gotta get a truck for this, which means I have to put in a road depot. I don't want that to be a super annoying in the way thing. So I need this because it's all cargo. We'll just do 2 of these. So we'll call that like that. And then once this thing is made some sort of round, then I'll send the second one in. You don't trespass on railroad property. Just don't do that. Not a smart idea. Sings the tune as it should. As it should. Okay, now that that is there, I'll send that way. We should... There we go. All we had to do was actually have it connected, and then suddenly the train would actually start doing what we wanted it to do. Alright, so 1964, we have the Shinkansen. I probably don't have enough money to get one, but I'm going to want one anyway, so we're going to see. Of course, I just bought these trucks, and now we have better trucks. Whatever. Whatever. We'll update it at some point. This is now doing 6 out of 18. That's better than nothing. I do want to see this go out, though. Pretty healthy appetite for this Track 2 train. Kind of surprised, honestly. Do Cybertrucks in 1965? I don't think so. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's a very good truck or a very good anything, honestly. Except to confuse raccoons who think it's a dumpster. I remember seeing the video of, was it Whistling Diesel or somebody, which, to be fair, he just does ridiculous, stupid stuff to vehicles and just destroys them on purpose. But he was trying to do like a towing thing or whatever, and it just ripped the whole back of the thing off. Like, come on, man. That is not a quality vehicle, and that is not something that is useful for any actual truck purpose. Alright, so now this is going to distribute. That's fine. We can leave that alone. I want the Shinkansen, so... Let's see how much it's going to cost me to get one of those. It's going to be under electric multiple units. Holy crap. Okay, $47 million. I don't think we can afford that. Is this the full... Is that an 8-car set? 4, 5, 6, 7. It is 8. The... full original train, I think, was 16, but, you know, given the scale compression in this game, 8 makes sense. Now we got... This tram is very, very old. These are the San Francisco... No, they're the Moscow ones, which I can't even get anymore. These only go 24 miles per hour, and they only hold 24. So if I upgraded those to the Toronto PCCs, it might not be a bad idea. Although they only hold 18, so maybe that's not great. KTM, okay, that's the same kind of... Oh! Type T1 goes 37. That's actually pretty good. Let's replace those. And I think Akron also has something similar. They are running... Yeah, they're still running the same things. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. We'll just replace those. Should be easier. All these little baby trucks. Immediately, as soon as I get this stuff, I get different things that I can't really afford. Alright. Oh well. So this now, assuming this train is actually able to deliver everything that it picks up, Could actually justify getting another carriage for it. I don't know. I don't want to mess with that too much. I think probably the bigger thing is going to be getting more food into here. Because eventually it'll go up. But right now, this is the only city that's really getting anything, and it's probably fine as is. I remember I wanted to keep this open, so maybe... Well, I don't want to do that now while I don't have anything going into it. Okay, alright. Tool factory. There is no super convenient close way to get planks except for over here. And all of the wood is over here. Ideally, I'd want a third one. I think we talked about this already. I got these here I can make stuff with that I'm not really doing. Well, I built this big highway thing. We don't necessarily have to use the same stuff, but it would not be a terrible idea. What's going to be the most likely to help me get to $47 million so I can get a Shinkansen? These are all losing money. Akron distribution is hemorrhaging money. Of course the train is, but we're going to ignore that. Passenger train's making the most. So, okay, no, that's positive now. I guess that's fine. Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start getting these connected up together, and then we can get them connected to the plank thing, and then we can get that connected to the tool thing. I don't want streets, I want country roads. 62 miles per hour for this purpose might actually be worth doing. It's just unfortunate that this is going to be kind of a pain in the butt. Alright, well, is what it is. We're just going to get this popped in here, straight through, and then we will... I wish I had like a compound curve thing, because I know City Skylines, for all of its many, 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 many faults, does. I'll just make this a decent roadway here. And then these can be connected very simply. No, not like that. These can be... Stop curving. You don't need to be doing that. Now, I don't have to have the truck stations right on this thing anyway. They just have to be connected somehow. That's fine there. So those are connected. Then this goes here, and then I suppose it's not going to be that bad of a thing for us to have... I wonder if I could put another cargo building on this side and another road and then have that be an intermediary to connect to this. I wonder. Let's just try this, because I am sickeningly curious. Okay, that's too close. That is connected, but it's a little too far away. All right. So if that's connected there, and on this side I put a truck station. No, hold on. I need to have a... No, I wanted that to go... Well, okay, what I wanted to see was, could I still have this connected on this side so I don't have to cross the tracks? And the answer to that question is yes. So now I am very, very heavily interested in doing this. Let's, I guess just put one of these in, and then I'll put another, no, that's the wrong one. I want to connect to this. Street access here, and then boys and girls. Then we are going to be looking pretty good. This will be connected to the large country road, which I guess doesn't really matter that much, but is going to be pretty important nonetheless. Alright, Normally you do not want a grade crossing for any sort of high-speed train. Fortunately, this is not a high-speed train. This is a freight route, and they can wait for the train. That is pretty much always going to be a better option than basically anything else. So if I wanted this to come down here, which I do, and connect it to here, that would look pretty good. Need to have a truck station. Doesn't really matter where it goes. I don't know why I would have designed this like this. I really didn't need to. Actually, you know what? This works out just fine because I can have those go into specific spots. Alright, now the rest of this I don't need nearly as much. Yeah, I just want that to come in. I want that to come in like that. Alright, now take this off of super speed because we're already in the late 60s. There's the DD51. There we go. There we go. Alright, we're going to call this... Why are there so many variants of the DD51? I do not remember downloading a billion of these. What did I call this? Allentown. Okay. Oh, and I didn't rename it. I guess now it's a little bit too late, huh? Actually, I shouldn't say this is logs. I should say what it's for. Okay, whatever. We'll figure it out. Logs 1. Then this will be the same kind of deal. Logs 2. And now I just need those going. We already have this. I guess I can just... Oh, these are little tiny trucks. Okay, 17... No, I don't have a stake truck. I do for this, but that's only 37 miles per hour. This goes 50. Well, I'm going to buy 5 of these, and I'm going to put 2 of them on raw mats logs 2, and 3 of them on raw mats logs 1, because that's a longer thing. This needs to go over here, which... Oh, did I leave myself enough room to make this a... Oh, come on. Is it ugly? Yes. But it's okay. This just has to make it over here. Actually, I didn't want that going that direction anyway. I wanted this to go all the way up here. Direct connection. Look at that. Look at that. Honestly, that could have been a train, but it's fine. This will be... Well, I won't say it's beautiful. It'll be something. So that can go there to there. We'll call this... I guess it's not technically raw mats. It's a process thing. I really probably should just call it raw mats. Allentown, planks, it's panks, there you go. Okay, this is hideous is what this is. I need to fix my thinking. Alright, so tram station. Wait, that's a bus station? No. That was supposed to be a cargo station. Okay, that's a cargo station. Why does this call this a bus station? No, that's a cargo. Why does it call it... Okay, whatever. I have no idea why it called it a bus station, but Town Central doesn't really matter. Just give this free reign on any of those platforms, but on this one... Yeah, that being on this platform 1 is actually what I want. I want the logs to go... Well, these can go on either one of those, but that needs to be on platform 2 or 3, and then this one needs to be also on platform 2 or 3. And that works out okay. Alright, so we got 27 million bucks. This is being put in here. In all honesty, this probably doesn't justify having a separate train, so what I'm going to do... where's the train? What do I have that? I have that set. Cargo? No. Rail cargo. Why did I name this some stupid thing? What I can do is I can actually add this as an intermediary station to pick up the tools, and that'll still drop it off, but it will need a separate boxcar to do it. Because, no, I didn't want to click on that. I wanted to click on the train, not the station. Because you can only put one type of stuff in each car. So, alright, this was this thing, and that's tools. Alright. So I'll spend an extra $1 million for that to exist. I do not think this will actually be running anytime soon, mostly because I do not have anything attached to planks. Oh, I definitely don't. Okay, well. This is going to take a hot minute to get going here. Why don't I... Or did I already do... I can't remember what I've got attached. That's a problem. That's logs 2. That's the train. That's for logs 1. You know what? I don't really want to sit here for a billion years and wonder if I've actually got it set up or not. So, we'll just get that going. I'm going to slow down the date speed by 1/4. To 1/4. I think that's probably a little bit of a better way to do that anyway. So I want to be able to, you know, not just rocket into the jet age. Well, I guess technically we have jets already. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's just get this rolling here. This does have... Ah! See, this doesn't connect directly to here. But it does connect to the train station, and the train station can take from both. So that's going to be very interesting to see if I have to move this or not. Something tells me I may actually have to, but we'll see. So I've got this, which is carrying nothing. We'll see. May have to wait a little bit. This is saying it doesn't have any production whatsoever. Is there anything on this one? No. Alright, so this is going to take a while. At least the food is being made, and that's a good thing. Alright, so that's going all the way back up there. Assuming this one comes back with planks, which it may not unless this is actually connected. Can you let me click on this? There we go. We'll just watch this for a little bit. Alright, are you going to pick anything up at all? That's a big fat no. Alright, well I guess then the question becomes no shipment. Okay, so I thought this was going to be a brilliant idea, and it turns out that was not the case. So what we will need to do instead is just put this in and be done with it. Just swap this out. I was really trying to avoid having to do that, but it's alright. We can go across the tracks. It's not the end of the world. It just ends up being a little bit of a shame. So what I can do here, is this connecting a town? No, it is not. Alright, I am going to hit pause. I'm going to remove this. Because of how this is set up, I do think I can justify doing a little bit of a an angled country road setup where this goes over the train tracks. Let's see how high I want this to actually go. No, no, no. Give me my... There we go. So I know it has to clear the catenary. That is kind of steep, but it'll be alright. So this will go here. Just fine. I know. And oh, you stupid idiots. Can't do that. Alright. we have to remember that we have the ability to, I think... Where's my, oh, I've got assets I haven't been using. What do I want to do to... I have to remember how this is set up. No. I want this, whatever this is, to go across... Oh, that is ghastly. That is, oh, that's horrible. But maybe that's what I have to do to get this to do what I want it to do to go across here. Too much slope. Cry about it. Okay, that clearly was not enough. So what did you do today? Oh, I watched some insane person try to do basic terraforming in a game from 10 years ago. Need to flatten this out. Which side was the highest one here? Alright, so we already know this is like a fruitless waste of time, but bridge pillar collision. Well, how about you don't make it a bridge, you ding-dongs? Okay, that is... Ugh. Oh, God, what have I done? What have I done to this poor landscape? Alright, let's just make this completely flat on either side and then just approach it like that. Why not? I just need to have a road that can go across and not be a complete and utter disaster. Now, that actually kind of looks nice. I am not gonna lie. Looks halfway decent. So now that I know that works, I can't really withdraw this node, but I can do that. Then I just have to get this minimum length. What is that? 3 of those. Can I go any shorter? I will reluctantly accept this. And then come along something like this. Now I can mercifully return the Earth to its somewhat less awful setup here. Alright, let's get that much, much better. And then I can smooth it. I've done worse things. I've done many, many, many worse things. Alright, now. Then this can come across. No, not like that. Down like that. Okay, that's actually not completely horrendous. It's pretty steep, yes, but I think we can live with that. That will be fine. Then I probably should actually do the street access on this side first. Then connect that to that. There we go. Okay, well, the rest of this kind of objectively sucks, but it is what it is. Smooth it out. Does that help at all? Make this look just a tiny bit less terrible. Well, it's fine. Alright, Allentown planks needs to go to there. And that can be literally any one of those things. Alright, now at the very least this should stop complaining about not having any production. Just as soon as this is ready, and they are in fact picking it up. 8 planks. Very good. Now we can just follow this thing. And we've got $31 million. Once this stabilizes, we'll probably be making a decent bit more. I could have evened this out a little bit better. Okay, so it slows down for the bridge, slows down for the tight curve. I guess that's fine. Why did it change lanes? Alright, so that's unloaded. This thing is now going about its business, making stuff, and now there is a tool ready to go. Alright, well that wasn't nearly as nightmarish as it needed to be. This should, assuming there's not more... Oh, there's only 2. I was going to say this should be able to pick up some food and then have some tools. Alright, so we got all 2 of those. Wait your turn. Probably should go and upgrade some of these truck stations or add more trucks to those routes, but right now I just want this to be connected. How many tools is it going to pick up? 7. Okay. I do think this is going to end up having to be a separate train when we get that running, because there's going to be so much coming out of that. Alright, so now this should be distributing nicely over here. This town's going to grow a lot once these are all supplied. Alright, so we know that works. Okay, we're way, way far away from having that be even remotely better. But I think there's a substantial enough demand for tools to justify increasing production on all of this. Okay, so that's actually doing fine. No overloading. I guess we could just leave that alone for a little bit of time. And see, these are fine. Okay, so shipment is actually the issue here. It's maxed out production-wise. Alright, so that is... How many vehicles? Oh, you got 2 on that route. All right. Well, 50 miles per hour versus 37. I do not think it is even remotely a contest. Ah, we got the legally distinct, not an amfleet. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna replace these with the man dump trucks and then duplicate that. And then do the same thing over here. I know it's going to cost us some money, but that's going to make us a decent chunk. That I think is going to be well worth it. Alright, so these. And then clone that. Alright, so now we have somewhere between 2 and 2.5 times improved our throughput here. Should be making a bunch more food. They don't really need the food over here yet, but we're going to be glad we have it. 48 tools. They will only take 18 because of how that is set up. This needs another train car. No. I don't want to replace the train. I want to edit the train. I clicked the wrong button. That's worth another 1.3 mil right now, because they'll pick up more tools. That'll help. That's working nicely. Oh, they want bread. Alright, so that is steadily going up. That's fine there. Alright. We've got pretty healthy demand for passengers. Wow! 148. Okay, well. You know what we're going to do just as soon as we possibly can, and that is get that Shinkansen in here. These guys want tools also, which would be a great thing to do once we get some sort of train hub or round the outside cargo setup. Although I don't know, depending on how we want to do this, if that's going to even be viable. I could have this. Yeah, if that was going to go to the fuel thing, I could have a 4th track that would then come over the side here and then join on the outside and attach itself to some of that. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but right now I just want to get that 47 million. And then get the Shinkansen on here. 155 people. A lot of people want to go to Akron. Okay. These are still hilariously old tiny trucks, but these aren't even full, so I'm not going to worry about upgrading those yet. streetcar is proving pretty popular. Those people all going to the train station. And it is full, and there's still people waiting. Yeah, there's planes and boats. We haven't really found a reason to use those, but this right here, you got a steel mill, and then over here there is a machines factory that needs steel. So we could pretty conceivably have ships, barges, whatever, transport some of that just to say that we did that. That is an option. Yeah, there's so much demand. There's so much passenger demand. We will make that money back real quick if we put the Shinkansen on there. But for now, it seems like we are just not being super efficient at transporting a bunch of this. Akron Food Distribution is bursting at the seams. Can I click on this? Come on. Yeah, these need bigger trucks. These absolutely need bigger trucks, and there are 8 vehicles on this. Okay. Well, those are the Benz tarp trucks, and that is all the way up here. Do we even have? No, it's not even available anymore. So I've got this can hold 17. This is yeah, it would have to be one of these. But it goes 50 miles per hour, and this only goes like 20 something. Yeah, all I got is a this Opal's probably even a little bit closer. All right, 3.3 million to fix this. And that is, we're already at 40, but I think this is really going to help getting that taken care of. So we'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, just immediately making a huge difference. Alright, this is the PA. Yeah, it's full. We need more capacity. We need the Shinkansen. That probably doesn't need an upgrade right now. I hate when I mute having to sneeze and then I don't sneeze. Then it just lingers. Alright, is that track 2 or track 1? Is this not loading? Okay, it is track 2. Yeah, I think the capacity of the Shinkansen EMU in this game is 160 people, so that would wipe that out immediately. Just gotta get there. I'm gonna... okay, the slowest you can go is quarter speed. I was gonna say I'll go 1/8 speed, because I want to linger in the middle of the century a little bit longer. Oh, well, you can't always get what you want. These still these little tiny trucks, but they're not full. So it's not the end of the world. For this to upgrade, though, it needs another shipment, but this isn't demanding much more than it's getting. Well. Let's come back here. Yeah, we just got a tremendous amount of people waiting for stuff. Alright, now the distribution may end up being a problem. I know we bought this like right before these other trucks came out. And these are... that is a pink car. Okay, Ethan. You pink Cadillac. I guess this is fine. As long as they're getting stuff, which mostly they are. $84. Okay, yeah, we need to upgrade this train too. But biggest money makers are reliably these passenger routes. That one's got nothing on it. That's fine. No, these sneaky people. They filled up one car with one unit of food, and now I can't put any tools in that whole car, so I'm only going to be able to take 18. Well, eventually this will get improved. Yeah, because it's... oh, that's annoying. But I can't really do much else about it. Yeah, we'll just let it be for right now, because we are so close to getting this upgraded over here. I do think it's going to have to be the mallard that goes away in favor of that. Come on, big money. Come on, big money. I got 45 mil. Give me 47. Actually, I wonder if I can instead check out my vehicles here. There we go. If I go to edit this, I will get back 5 million. Metrolighter, 120 miles an hour? Nah, 137. This holds 160. All right, so now I just have to, I can't name this mallard anymore now, can I? Well, there's no rule that says we can't. So I guess we'll just, I actually don't know what the... That is not what the Chikansen horn sounds like, by the way. Does not have the three-chime American air horn on it. I'm not poor again. Now I'm going to have substantially increased passenger throughput, which is going to make me more money. Probably need to get rid of these grade crossings at some point. But for now, this is fine. So I think we have enough length on here to do almost a double length one of these. We will see. I imagine there's going to be a lot of folks wanting to get on here at Corona. But they're on track 2. It'll balance out. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand about how trains in India work. That is definitely one of them. It just seems ludicrously dangerous to let people do that. So I have to wonder how much of that is from, you know, the people in power just not caring, and how much of it is from people in power not knowing that it's happening. Well, you got like over 1 billion people in a country that is still developing infrastructure. It's going to be like that, I guess. I think they're supposed to be getting, I want to say it's China, I could be wrong, but someone is helping them develop high-speed stuff. Alright, well, we've proven that this does work, so that is fine for now. I've got a decent bit of cash. Where's the train? Okay, so it does have 2 boxcars open for tools, but I have 143 tools waiting, so why don't we take the chance now? Go ahead and upgrade. Hold on, my boxcars changed. Ah, here they are. Okay, DD51, Japanese National Railways. Okay, JR Freight. That's the modern day one. I've got one of these. I've got a model of one of these. I can't remember which one it is. Can I Oh, I guess I already changed that. It's going to cost me 3 million, but this goes 59 miles per hour instead of 56, which, you know, that sounds kind of dumb, but it does matter. It's got over twice as much power, which means it'll get to the top speed faster, but it doesn't have... Actually, it doesn't have as much tractive effort. That's kind of surprising. Oh, well. I like it better anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Still goes 75. I will just go ahead and modify that like so. Now, the sounds are never going to update because, of course not, but this one has a really, really cool sounding turbocharger that kicks in at times, which of course you're not going to hear, but I don't know, if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah, look at that. 54 things of tools. Uh-oh, we got Peterbilts now. They're expensive. Alright, we've made some decent progress on this. Got a lot of people on track 2 waiting. Track 1, not so much. Well, it'll eventually fill up. It'll be fine. I want to say I've got a couple more variants of the Shinkansen that show up at some point in the 80s, maybe. I know I got the 500 series. That comes out in 96. And that's the cool-looking one. But for now, probably should just focus on keeping these things slowly rolling along. And then just doing what we can do. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go tonight because I do have other things I need to get done. But I did want to make some decent progress with the passenger stuff and a little bit of cargo, and this seems to be doing okay for that. What I do... Yeah, I probably need to increase the amount of trucks running this stuff, so why don't we replace these? Peterbilts and downtowns? No, not happening. That's not good. That holds 13. I'll just duplicate those so they can have 4 on that route. Distributing, that should be fine. What about other lines? Profitability, or I guess balance. Not necessarily. Yeah, look at that. Of course, the freight train is the lowest one. We already talked about this. Some of these have really ridiculously old vehicles on them. But they're making money, and the the frequency and the rate's still fine. Yeah, the cargo's not even all the way full up. Well, hello, Josh. Thank you very much for 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you supporting the channel, getting some folks on the list at the end. Okay, now I gotta figure out how in the world to pronounce some of this. Goblin Ethan's Medulla Oblongata, I think is what that says. Incredible name. Welcome to the boosters on behalf of our friend Josh. Alexander Powers 252. Rizati Chilio Bilio Stay V. Welcome also as well. Thank you very much, Josh. Too many names without memberships. Oh, you know what I always forget about? I can also do that. I have free memberships I can give out. I have 10 left to send this month. I will send 5 today. Who's got them? I'll save 5 for next time I stream. Alexandra Paiva, I think. Maybe 3700. Keto 189. CDR Mike ASG. Noah BI4LL. And GrimeZ915. Welcome to the boosters. On behalf of YouTube, giving me free memberships to give out every month. I always forget about it. No one that's here. Yep, that's how it goes. And once again, it is not Hoff, because YouTube apparently does not ever want to give him a membership for free. But I digress. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, YouTube's RNG is not very kind a lot of the time. But we do have Shinkansen operating. We just upgraded Series 0 because it is, well, I guess technically now it's 1970, and I'm wanting to get another one in. Okay, I didn't see it over here. YouTube should allow you to gift people directly. I agree. Twitch does. And sometimes it's really, really funny in the live stream where someone will make a joke and then someone else will gift like the text of that joke as somebody's username, because of course people have weird usernames over there. It always ends up getting played for laughs. But I don't know why YouTube doesn't do some of that stuff. They would absolutely dominate Twitch if they put like 5% more effort into, the mechanics behind the live streams. Hoff did buy one, actually. I guess he was tired of getting passed up for it. But I digress. I would like to see if the other train can be sold off and make some sort of profit here. Alright, so I'm only going to get 3.4 million. Let's not do that. I don't have enough to get another Shinkansen otherwise. We'll be fine. Long enough timeline, we'll make enough money. We just have to get through it. Shipment seems to be an issue. I guess, even though we have 10 vehicles on this, they're just really, really slow. Why do... Okay, there we go. If I replace these with Peterbilts, it's going to cost me $6 million, but they're going to hold a lot of stuff. That being said, these long haul things probably are fine to be Peterbilts anyway, because we're going to want to make a lot more stuff. So why not? We'll just invest. How about that? We'll just do that. Get a whole bunch of Peterbilts on the road. That should bump up our shipment numbers considerably once that's going. Of course, now we have traffic because, of course, we do. I thought I had this figured out where they were going to just take these exit ramps. That was kind of the whole point. But they're not doing it. Now they're all just making left turns. Okay, the big thing here is these little trucks that are coming in to do the pickups. Should be taking this, and they're not. Well, I mean, if it works, it's fine, but... At some point I had that all figured out, and then it didn't work. Benefits expire in 25 minutes. Has it been that long? Oh man, I need to get the name list working again for Timberborn. It's a monumental task. To get like 18 or 1900 names migrated to a different thing is just miserable. Well, I tried to do it one time. I spent like 5 hours on it, and it didn't even work. No, that's not really a very good excuse, is it? Man, we still got these tiny little things here. No. This one absolutely needs to be upgraded. There we go. Oh, Twitch. And Twitch has its own problems. I tried streaming a little while ago. Well, a little while ago being a couple of years, and then it just wouldn't even accept my whatever login key thing. It's like, alright, I don't need to do this. At some point, if I have time, absolutely. But for now, I think we're doing okay here. Tool production. We still have 148, and I've got my little DD51 in the train cars here. Oh no, I absolutely still get the money. Let's see how much food this is going to pick up. Okay. Well, at least the second car has something in it. Although I do wish it would only... Well, I can tell it what to load. I don't have to leave it to chance. There's a setting. I just never do it. Once we're making enough money, I do want these to be separate trains because that's going to be the only way this is even remotely viable. And then, of course, we have to get fuel going at some point, but Allentown doesn't want it right now. And they're... Oh, they actually have almost all the food. I guess that's fine. Yes, that just fills those up immediately. That's fine. I didn't set up a streetcar in Allentown, did I? I even made sure I could get these roads all the way across. Well, I could do streetcar here to connect to this. No, I've got Allentown transfer, and I don't have a single solitary streetcar line. And they're still taking the train. I don't think it's that big of an issue, though. Do I want to mess with this? Well, we already put it in, so why not? So, tram track. All of those, I suppose best thing we can do is just have this go all the way down here, huh? That may end up kind of complicating stuff with these truck deliveries, but be alright. Alright, so we got that there. If we're going to go around the outside like we always do, then this would be fine to put here, here, and then I'll do another one on this side because it's still going to reach just fine. And then here. Alright, well, Allentown Circulator, here we go. Come on, autosave, thank you. Alright, so that's, I guess, counterclockwise, all left turns is what it is, but, you know, the other way wouldn't have been a ton better. We'll call this, no, it needs to be dot street. I cannot type to save my life. Good lord. There we go. And now that needs a vehicle, which means I have to put a depot in. And it has to be able to connect to literally anything. Alright, well, I'm just going to put that up there, and I suppose I just have to get that connected with some sort of a thing. Okay, I've got... Ooh, that's a nice looking one. Holds 35 compared to 18 on the PCC. That's kind of long compared to the rest of these. Well, to be Pennsylvania authentic, quote unquote, even though I'm pretty sure Allentown does not have any of these, we can use the Pittsburgh PCC. I don't know, maybe there's some sort of a Pennsylvania turf war that I'm going to find out in about 5 seconds about why Allentown is like a scum of the earth type of place that doesn't deserve streetcars, but that's part of the fun. So we'll let them do that. That hopefully will help drive ridership here. Yeah, we got... there's so much demand for this stuff, they can't even remotely do enough. Alright, little DD51, it's time for you to earn your keep. I'm going to add 108 capacity. Let you do what you gotta do. One of these days we'll trick you into getting fiber. At some point it's gonna work. There's just, like, the to-do list of things I need to take care of that are not that is like 5 miles long. Or like for interurbans or whatever. I guess that makes sense. I just really only know mostly about Philly because they still do have some PCCs operating, although I think they're going away at some point soon. We got all sorts of tools just sitting here, ready to get picked up. They're not going away though, so I guess that's fine. Yeah, what I'm looking at with it now regarding fiber is just getting the stuff installed into the house is going to be such a huge pain in the butt because of everything else I have to do to make that possible. And the downstream speed isn't going to get any higher, it's just the upstream speed. And the only thing that this upstream speed that I have with cable right now is preventing me from doing is streaming in 1440p or 4K, which I wouldn't even want to be streaming in 4K anyway. And then uploading videos takes like 20 minutes to a half an hour, which isn't a huge deal for me. It's just irritating because I used to be able to do it in 5 minutes or less. But it ends up not being really that big of a deal. I would love to not be paying Comcast $160 a month for internet, though. You know, AT&T is the only other fiber operator available even remotely near me. And they always say, oh, it's $70 a month. It's never only what they tell you it's going to be, because they just keep raising the price over and over and over and over and over because they know they can. Oh, they were not advertising $55 a month for me. They were saying it was going to be like 70 plus whatever installation costs. And that was after they said that it wasn't available in my area, despite me, you know, the day before watching them trenching directly across the street. I don't know. Free install my ass. I will believe it when I see it, because they would have to trench a lot and go under multiple paved areas to get it into my house. And probably cost them like 10 grand to do it. Well, like I said, I still have a ton of stuff I have to do to make that even possible, because I got all these things I got to move around so you can get into the crawl space and figure out where I want stuff around, because I don't want the modem just sitting there on that side of the house, because that's not where any of the computers are. Yeah, so it's one of those things that is just, it's objectively a very stupid situation that I found myself in, but I can't really do anything about it. And every single problem that I've got that's preventing like any given thing from being done is also caused by the other things that have not been done. So it turns into a thing where you have to do all of it at the exact same time or none of it can get done, and doing it all at the same time is just prohibitively expensive and time consuming, so you just don't do it. So we will see what happens. So this is now the most profitable line with the Shinkansen on it. And these, of course, the Peterbilt ones are just hemorrhaging cash. They'll make money eventually, and I am going to have all of those upgraded at some point. Yeah, it could be. But again, that requires me spending time to do something when I have a billion other problems that I need to be taken care of. I'm sure at some point Comcast will do something to just make me unbearably, irreconcilably angry at them, and then I'll just have to bite the bullet and do it. But, I don't know, since it's tax deductible anyway because I'm using it for business stuff, how much it costs isn't that huge of a crazy thing, but I still would like to be paying less. Does this still have a bunch of stuff backed up? 127, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to get more trains going sooner or later, but I'd rather not dump money on the freight ones that aren't making a ton of cash. This is still technically negative. Not by much. It's improving. But we'll get that taken care of. Even the old PCC streetcar ones are making money. This is actually almost full. Alright. What else can I get myself into? These... It's only shipping out of 100. Because this is all going, as far as I know, it's all just going to Akron by itself. But this is exactly the kind of thing that would be great to have spread between different things, because Allentown wants it too. So I wonder if it would be worth having a truck come up here. Or I just, I don't know. I feel like we're getting into the territory of possibly overcomplicating things just for the point of getting 0.1% better distribution. Okay, this is still getting dropped off fine. Ridership on this is actually really good. Alright. Love to see that. Okay, the number is slowly going down. And we do have capacity for probably most of this on this run, so that should be good. Alright, now I'm sitting at about 42 million, which means it is about time. Nope, that is the one I want to not upgrade. I need to find the other passenger train. Where are you? There you are. It is time for the PA to go away. That thing is filthy. Alright, let's edit you. And Shinkansen 0 series. Oh, it's only going to give me a little bit. Alright. That is unfortunate. 78 miles an hour. I could give him a Metro liner, but that's kind of... eh. I want the Shinkansen. Give me my millions. Give me my millions. It's not going to do it, is it? I guess I just have to wait until I have 44 million bucks kicking around. And the number just keeps going up because the vehicles I'm replacing are losing value, of course. It's definitely how that works. Well, not much else I can do except wait, so I guess we'll come back and do that in a little bit. Because we are going to continue to make money, which is good. Just, there's a lot of people that would like to take that train. They will pay me money to do it. A little... Oh, this is ancient. This is an absolutely ancient vehicle. Wow, okay. Oh, it's only 15 years old, so I guess it's technically from the 40s, but 50s, actually. Well, I got my money now. Where is the train? Where is the train? Is this... Nope, that's the other Shinkansen. Show me the other train. Where is it? Why can I not find this stupid thing? There you are. Alrighty. There we go. Now we got the other Shinkansen in. Yeah, the way the game does the economy of repairing and vehicle purchase and everything is kind of nuts in terms of the dollar values assigned to it, but when you remember everything in this is representative, it's not necessarily exactly what a single vehicle is going to cost to operate, then I guess it makes a little more sense. You're allowed to be here. If you don't have a beard, anyone's allowed to be here. See how many people get on this thing, because I know there are a lot of folks waiting. Is that going to be full all the way up? Almost. Alright, well that's good. That's going to help us make a bunch of money. Yeah, we're going to want to get a cargo hub sooner or later. That's firmly next stream territory because we're past 2-hour point now. I don't think I want to expand the passenger operations too much more. This is still... Okay, no, that's mostly caught up. We got this guy full up on tools and a car and a half worth of food. That is okay. Yeah, we just need to get more production, more supply, but that'll come in time. Oh, we're losing... we don't have storage here. We're losing supply. Right, let's... can I fit one of these? I can fit one there. That'll help a little bit. Yeah, the distribution one... Oh, no, this isn't even distribution. This is just back and forth. I think this is only 2 trucks. This is probably worth upgrading because this is like a long haul, bigger thing. That should be fine. Book recommendations. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but if anyone else does. Do you have a specific category or genre or something you're looking for? Not that I'm going to really be able to tell you much of anything, but never hurts to ask. These traffic lights go from red to green with a yellow in the middle. Now, I know there are some places in the world where that's a thing, but not in the U.S. Not in the U.S. That is a deep cut Great Northern Railway disaster in America's deadliest avalanche. Well, that sounds really interesting. Ah, yes, the Florida East Coast Railway. Fascinating. Very fascinating history of Henry Flagler and basically most of American railroading. Directly or indirectly tied into some sort of that, the stuff that he was up to. Let's see what kind of money we're making on this. Yeah, see, this is making almost 10 million. Yeah, I figured you probably stuck that into the AI thing, because that's a very, very specific recommendation that I would not have expected coming from you. Okay, this is not able to distribute enough stuff. So I think, is that because I got 4 vehicles on this? Is this just an issue of frequency, or is it an issue of capacity? I feel like it's probably an issue of capacity and frequency. These hold... This little tiny Isuzu holds 18. Okay, that holds 14. These are little tiny baby trucks. This holds 17. These things are hilarious. These little K trucks or whatever. You're absolutely, if you get in an accident in one of these, you're already dead. But they are very cute. Let me get another, oh, I didn't want to replace, I wanted to alright, whatever. I was going to say I wanted to duplicate these two. I ended up just replacing them instead. Oh well. That'll help improve distribution. I don't really have anywhere to add a cargo building. Yeah, because this is somebody's backyard over here. Doesn't seem to want to allow me to do that. Never read a book in your life. I don't know that that's something to be proud of. Scaling is really messing with my head. We have high-speed rail between, as an American, these towns are bicycle distance. Well, yeah. Well, if you're going, it randomizes the names. But, I mean, Allentown, Pennsylvania to Amarillo, Texas, that's too long of a distance even for a bullet train to make sense. That's plain territory. But then we also have Akron, Ohio, and... okay, Everett's in Washington, but I thought there was a couple other of these that were really funny. Victorville's in California. Corona is also in California. Those are maybe only about 2 hours apart by car. Depending on traffic, I'd have to check for sure, but I know this is in the desert. It's where they park all the retired airplanes. And Corona is like well, could be like 90 minutes or 2 hours from Orange County, LA County area, depending on traffic. But I think it's off the 91 freeway in SoCal. Amarillo's remote. It's right off of I-40. And then we already talked about that. Baltimore's Baltimore. I do not know where Roseville is. Waco and Amarillo aren't necessarily super close, even though they're both in Texas. Well, technical manual isn't that far removed from a book. It's just telling you a specific set of information for a specific task instead of being something that's designed to tell a story. I do appreciate when people write manuals that are actually interesting to read. Not just ridiculous, like, super specialized slop that doesn't really tell you anything except specifications. It's like, no. Tell me interesting features about this software or whatever. Put some humor into it. We got 15 people waiting there, 17 people waiting there, 30 people waiting there, and I've got how many... No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to look at the vehicles. It might be time to increase the amount of streetcars we got. Let's double it. Trams, whatever you want to call them. Roseville's an hour from Stockton in California. Gotcha. Yeah, I would be absolutely lying to you if I said I had even a shred of appreciation for AI-generated anything. Flash looked like you dropped a nuke. I have no idea what the game did just then. I know. The amount of kids that like can't even figure out how to write anything, like, oh, I'm just going to make ChatGPT do it. Like, you're doing nothing. You are actively making yourself stupider. Yes, I chose stupider on purpose instead of more stupid, but God, it just makes me so mad. Like, these kids don't know how to do anything. It's just ask the AI to do it. All the AI is going to tell you is what other people told it. And it gets stuff wrong a lot. So you better know how to do your own stuff or you're going to be screwed. Especially when these companies that have been giving out the tokens for free decide that it's time to start charging for it. This is 18 people waiting here. 68 people are waiting? Oh no, that's not going to work. They need some more help. Let's give them a second. Don't put it right behind the other one. Come on, man. I think the thing that makes me most angry about the proliferation of AI is that all these companies are forcing you to do it now, and Google has become almost unusable. Because it just gives you whatever crap it can regurgitate without any regard for actually citing sources that it knows are dependable. It just picks whatever it thinks has the best SEO, and then suddenly that's what's actually happening. Nope. So now I have to actually go and vet anything that shows up. You can't turn it off. I have no idea how it would have had any knowledge of WaterBeaver anything unless it was specifically seeded for it, which I guess is possible. But it just irritates me, like, how quick people are to just completely throw out any sort of human-generated or human-curated anything in favor of, oh, hey, here's the plagiarism machine. And it is good at some things, yes. But everything comes at a cost when you make choices to replace things. And I think a lot of people don't understand the damage that it's going to do. Or they don't care, which is worse. As far as I know, it tends to be good at going through data that it is supplied and analyzing trends and so on and so forth. Like, it can do very specific, here's inputs, give me different outputs for it, but there's always stuff that's not going to be good at unless someone tells it what to think, and then you have to trust what that person is putting into it is not poisoned. And you can't guarantee that because all of these tech companies do not care about anybody except getting another dollar. Eventually you're going to run out of money. But that is not what we're attempting to do here. I need to get some building materials in. I've got a factory there. Got a factory there, or as we talked about, this one is attempting to make more, but it can't. So I have to decide if I'm going to get a bunch of bricks dropped off here, or if I want to add that to a train going somewhere. So I don't know, because this is already kind of a disaster, right? And I don't know why they are not using all of these things to get in the other side here. I thought for sure they would come in this side and then, you know, come around, but I guess they don't want to do that. I have absolutely no interest in asking AI anything about myself because then it's going to have to go index things. And that's also a good point, is that companies just use it as a buzzword now with absolutely nothing to do about it. And there's different types of AI, right? Because you have generative AI, which is just plagiarism, stealing people's intellectual property and then not even doing anything good with it. And then you have stuff that's actually doing machine learning for like sequencing things for medical purposes, doing data analysis for people in logistics, and all of that is a very good, actual, helpful use case for that kind of thing. But everything gets lumped into everything at the same time. And all these companies are like, we're generating profits with the help of AI. It's like, no, you're not. You're trying to get investor money. You're not actually doing anything. All you're doing is muddying up workflows, frustrating your employees, and pissing off your customers. Like, what kind of business model is that? But you have to do something with it, or else people are like, oh, you're behind the times. Like, no, you're not. Give me a human doing something every single time. Yeah, you got to be afraid of what these companies are doing with your information. Not to turn tinfoil hat or whatever, but man, it is mind-boggling what people will just volunteer for free. Or they feed, like, these things, they feed pictures of their kids to it, like, oh, put my kid in a cowboy hat. Like, you're stupid. You're giving, basically, Cybernet access to pictures of your children to do whatever it wants or whatever somebody else wants to do with that. That is not a good thing. There's a lot of deeply troubling things about integrating automation with human resources or any of that stuff. But I don't know. I decided I wasn't going to be part of the whole corporate America thing anyway, so I decided I was going to play video games online to make money, and that seems to be working for the most part, for the time being. Until YouTube decides they're going to train AI on 500 hours of my voice and just generate their own content, and then they're going to come shoot me in the head or something. So for now, we can have fun playing with games. But man, I really detest the whole notion of people getting replaced with the language learning model, whatever stuff. It's like, I want human interaction. That's why I'm doing all this stuff. I don't want a machine to generate it for me. See, that's the thing about all of these technology things, is no amount of posting on Facebook about I don't give Mark Zuckerberg permission to use my stuff is going to matter, because when you signed up for the service, you automatically consented to it. Nobody reads the terms of service, and then they get mad when it does exactly what it says it's going to do. Is what it is. Let's do a little bit more optimizing of some of these unprofitable routes. And then I probably am going to have to be done for the day. They're just not putting enough stuff through it. I have to wonder if that's because the city's not demanding more, or if the supply is bad. See, it's saying it's transporting everything it's making, but it's not getting shipped enough. But if it's transporting everything it's making, then it's being shipped everything it needs. I guess that's for the purpose of upgrading. Yeah, that's what it's talking about. I guess the DC-10. Everyone's favorite airplane with absolutely no history of violent crashes whatsoever. Did I... Yes, I did put a streetcar in here. Does Corona have a streetcar? Yes, okay, we fixed that. We did Allentown, we did Akron a long time ago. Okay, there's enough people waiting. I think I can justify putting another unit on this. Yeah, let's just do that. I don't know where it's going to shove it in. Do I even have a depot over here? I can't remember where it is. Okay, that's the tram depot. Okay, yeah, spacing's not great on that. It'll be alright. Some of the most disturbing stuff that I remember seeing about LLMs is the people that use it as a therapist. Is like, no, do not do that. It's programmed to try and get you to like it. It's not going to tell you objective, factual truths. Like, you can gaslight one of those things into saying almost anything if you know how to prompt it. Like, there's absolutely nothing you should be doing with regard to, like, therapy or psychiatry or anything with one of those. It's just messed up. Okay, that's actually completely full. Oh, it's not a loop yet, so I can't really run more than one car unless I wanted to be... Meanwhile, Murfreesboro we completely forgot about. It's got most of its food. How old are these trucks that are on here? Oh, these are hideously old. Maybe we do want to get something going for this sooner rather than later. I know I was going to think about how I wanted the train to run. Oh, it was like first stream we did this. What about... Okay, so that's all industry, so I do want the passenger stuff to come on this side. So I was thinking maybe I could put it on that end. But because of where the farm is, it's not really a great spot for it to go. No, I guess it's fine. I'll just have to move it further out, and we'll put a streetcar to connect it, but it's going to have to come through here, connect to Stockton, connect to Victorville, and then that has to go all the way around. Probably here. We could even tunnel, probably. Over to Corona, and then somehow I've got to get Waco, Baltimore, and Roseville connected. I was just going to probably do a triangle from Corona through Waco, through Roseville, probably to Murfreesboro. And then Murfreesboro, Roseville, Baltimore to Akron, and then same kind of deal going back up to here. That would probably be the easiest way to do it. But that's going to be kind of complicated for us to get done in another like couple minutes, so maybe we won't. You'd be a billionaire as much if you worked as much as I did. Well, I'm not a billionaire and I work as much as I do, so that ought to give you a pretty good idea. At one point in my life, I was assigned, I guess you could say, a blasphemous nickname based on those initials, depending on your opinion and perspective on religion. But that is not what that stands for. I guess we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, you know, it's been almost 2.5 hours. I probably do have to get off and try to get a couple more things done. Not going to do a video for tomorrow or anything, but I got a lot of stuff I've been trying to get done for the train channel that I have not been able to do for a very long time. That's what I've been starting to do on some of these weekend days when I don't have a video coming out the following day. So we'll see what happens, but this is probably a good point to stop. We did get a lot of good stuff done. We are immensely profitable. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and repay the loan so we don't have to worry about that. Make a little bit more money because we don't have to pay interest. And there you go. So I don't know when we'll be back in this. I've been trying to do 1 or 2 days of streaming per week, and it just has not worked out because I got so much else going on. But at some point, I'd like to come back soon and then get back into Satisfactory as well. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate all the support and interesting, friendly conversation. Have a great rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.